Since the recent weather change, I decided to finally wear my jeans and boots. I took them out the hanger only to be faced with the reality. They didn't fit. The pandemic pounds had caught up to me. We are currently in 6 months into the pandemic, and many of us are faced with the new reality. Gyms are being closed, grocery stores have capacity limitations, which increase lines, and even shortages on food. According to Today.com, April 28, 2020, quarantine 15 is on the rise. And if it wasn't bad enough to worry about the virus, we now have to worry about lasting effects of additional weight gain that can potentially cause harm. Quarantine weight gain. Rapid weight gain during the pandemic could cause complications, and even greater ones if COVID is contracted. I will discuss the negative effects of rapid weight gain, the current obstacles we have in regards to exercising and eating healthy, and what we can do to turn this train around. Rapid weight gain can cause complications, especially during these trying times, COVID-19 era. In a May 21, 2020 article on WebMD.com, Debbie Coyne explains that these extra pounds are no laughing matter and states, early on, we noticed that all of our patients who were immediately intubated at our institution and others had BMIs over 35. This is alerting information. The CDC website, October 8, 2020, also states that obesity puts many at risk for many other serious chronic diseases and increases the risk of severe illness from COVID-19. Unfortunately, most of us are obese or morbidly obese. Now that you know the consequences of weight gain during the pandemic, let's talk about the obstacles that we all face during this time. Almost immediately after we went on a toilet paper frenzy, early March, we went cuckoo for baking goods. Items like flour, yeast were flying off the shelves. Americans were bored and wanted to take a shot at baking, whether it was for boredom, stress reliever, or necessity, as the Washington Post, March 24, 2020, mentions that bread was being made because there was simply none due to the spike in demand. Obesity expert Dr. Sasha High recently sat down with Breakfast Television on August 6, 2020, it mentioned that with chronic stress caused by pandemic, the body increases hormones like cortisol, insulin, and ghrelin. These hormones increase the appetite and drive for food. Americans kept overeating and were restricted from exercising due to mandated gym closures. I also had to close down my gym membership. I started working out outside. However, my family wasn't okay with that due to me working out with other people. The Washington Post, September 21, 2020 mentions fear and anxiety also stopped many from going to public areas to exercise. The pandemic handicapped many of us in fear, which caused some of us to overeat and be less active. However, there are many ways which we can help ourselves. If you're in a place in a situation where you have time to cook due to being laid off or working from home or having your school from home, you can learn how to cook healthier meals. You now have time to swipe through endless recipes that meet your fancy. As the Washington Post, October 6, 2020 states, clear the junk food out of the snack pantry and make cooking meals together part of your family's routine. However, if you are on the frontline workers with limited time, the best answer is to prep your meals. As far as exercising, the Washington Post, March 19, 2020, broke it down simple. Doing something is better than doing nothing. Go out for a walk by yourself. Do something. Maintaining physical fitness is not easier. Go out and abide by the social distancing 6-foot rules. Wear your mask. Do some yoga at home. The quarantine 15 potentially impacted our health and even our lives. I've reviewed the negative effects that obesity could cause through COVID-19, informed you of the reasons we may be overeating and be less active, and we went over what we can do to stay focused on our health.